Print News. Today is Thursday, the 14th of April, AD 2022. Wendell Nimna and Esther Daco, we are here this morning, and on today's edition, we will be playing host to Ambassador Yaya Sori Jallo. All right, Yaya Sori Jallo is going to be our guest on this presentation. So we run a few headlines for you, and we'll tell you about some of the stories making headlines in the print media on this presentation. So welcome, and let us all have a wonderful time together. And folks, this entire broadcast is dedicated to Abu Sharif of Freedom FM. Today, Abu celebrates his birthday, and we want to say happy birthday from the print news crew.
Yeah,
Wendell, Nimna, Esther Daku. Esther,
course.
how was your night?
Well, the night was okay. It's good to be back on the radio this morning, and it's good that we will have two segments this morning. We will have the papers first, and we will run with our guest.
All right, so that's it. And something happened yesterday. I will share that with the listening audience as the program progresses. All right, it's good. Look, we still have good people in this country. I'm
Of
telling
course,
you.
we do.
We still have good people in this country, and so we'll be telling you something that happened on yesterday, and that will be said later on the show. So let's start up this morning with the New Dawn newspaper. The motto says truly independent. U.S. records killings and corruption in Liberia. Every day, America got something in Liberia. Every day, U.S. records killings. But the amount of killing that going on in America, that I want everybody can talk about it. Every day, somebody just jump off from a horse in the morning, go see peaceful people sitting down, just shooting them. All the human rights abuses, they don't see it. But every time you will hear something nasty about Liberia from America, I don't understand. What kind of tie they say we have with this country called America? Every day they got something negative to say about our country. But that's the story there. The U.S. records killings and corruption in Liberia. And another story says Toba family calls for decent burial. All right. Well, let me see what we can run a few lines of the first story here. Let's see what the American people really want to say about Liberia. Where the story is on page 11. Let's make our way to page 11 before we quickly bring in our guests. All right, page 11 says the 2021 Human Rights Report on Liberia, released by the United States Department of State, records significant human rights issues in the country, including arbitrary killings, cruel, inhumane, degrading treatment or punishment by police. The report also records harsh and life-threatening prison conditions across the country, including arbitrary arrest or detention, serious problems with the independence of the judiciary, restrictions on freedom of the press, as well as violence, intimidation, and threats against journalists, resulting in self censorship and unjustified arrests. It says why the law of Liberia provides criminal penalties for bribery, abuse of office, economic pockets of public officials through direct payments, indirect payments, or backdoor deals. The State Department also points to widespread corruption in the Liberian judiciary in the form of bribery and extortion to obtain favorable decisions, including direct government influence over judicial decisions. It records that on September 6, criminal court Judge Usman Fika dismissed a $5 million case of economic sabotage, theft of property, forgery, and criminal conspiracy against Secretary of the Liberian Senate J. Nabolas F. Simbe Sr., who allegedly used his position to obtain a government investment incentive package that he used unlawfully to import vehicles and equipment for personal gain, and 12 co-defendants. Judge Fika, the report notes, dismissed the case on grounds that the private prosecutor for the government, Hans Armstrong, was also indicted for the crimes of theft of property, sabotage, and other corruption-related offenses committed by officials. The government here failed to implement the law effectively amidst numerous reports of government corruption during the year. All right, so that's it right there. And let's see more stories here. Let's see more stories here on the back page of the New Dawn newspaper. Investigate police officer accused of rape. Human Rights Commission urges the Ministry of Justice. We read a story on yesterday, and so let's see what we can. Let's get to another one here. Talbot family calls for decent burial. All right, a Talbot family calls for decent burial. Family of the slain President Dr. William Richard Talbot Jr., who was assassinated 42 years ago in a bloody military coup on April 12, 1980, and children of officials of the former True Wing Party led government have reiterated call here for the late president and others to receive a befitting burial. The late President Talbot, then sitting chair of the military coup, he recorded some of those who were killed and buried in the mass grave are General Charles Riley, commander of the Executive Mansion Guard, an officer of the Special Security Service, Gabriel Moore, and Lieutenant Railroad Vasile of the Armed Forces of Liberia, and Momo Talbot, the son of the late president, who ran towards him as he was shot. A daughter of the late General S.Y. Organization of the African Union, now the Organization of African Union, now the African Union, was assassinated inside the executive mansion early April 12, 1980 by 17 enlisted officer of the Armed Forces of Liberia, commanded by Master Sergeant Samuel Kayado. Weeks later, 13 officials of the Talbot regime were charged for rampant corruption, tried in the military tribunal, and executed by a firing squad at the Barclay Training Center, the main military barracks in Monrovia. The spokesperson for the former president family and victims of the 1980 military coup, Dr. Richard Talbot, said the son of former Senate pro tempore Frank Talbot termed the mass grave in which their late parents were buried as a disgrace to the entire nation. All right, so folks, that's all we can grab from the New Dawn newspaper. And so we run to our next presentation this morning. From my end, it's the Inquirer newspaper, and it says here MOH acknowledges Global Fund report. The Ministry of Health says it is in possession of the investigation report issued by the Global Fund's Office of the Inspector General on April 8, 2022, pertaining to examination of the TB and HIV and malaria and health system strengthening grants implemented by the MOH as principal recipient. The ministry appreciates the efforts of the Global Fund and its desire to safeguard and ensure transparent implementation of all Global Fund grants generally, and added, we are advised that proper management of the grant fund is very important for the attainment of the overall goal of the Global Fund, which is to invest the words money to end HIV and AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria. The Ministry of Health said its goal is to improve the health status of the population of Liberia on an equitable basis, and amongst other things, it is guided by principles such as efficiency, accountability, and transparency in the discharge of its duties, like the Global Fund. Consistent with ministry's desire to discharge its duties in line with establishing guiding principles, the ministry, which is analyzing the report to inform action to be instituted, stated it is important to note that continuation is on page 10. It says to note that the OIG investigation was triggered by the ministry when discovered irregularities at one of its programs. The National AIDS Control Program by Internal Audit Unit of the ministry in 2022, after which the ministries alerted the Global Fund in keeping with the grant agreement. We also like to inform the public that for the period under review, in keeping with the Global Fund grant management and procedure, the fiduciary responsibility financial management, including co-signing of checks, local purchase orders and vouchers, internal audit and external audit functions were all being jointly executed by many international firms with the following responsibilities. One, Cardinal International Development, in an American-based financial management firm, was contracted by Global Fund as its fiscal agent and was stationed at the MOH with the fiduciary responsibility of reviewing all procurement and financial transactions, as well as providing pre-audit and post-audit functions on Global Fund transactions. If the LFA is dissatisfied with a particular transaction or transactions, it doesn't get proceed until it's corrected, until it is corrected and signed on by the FA. The FA has the right to also declare its transaction as illegible even after it has occurred. All right, so that's it right there. Let's leave the story right there. And the caption reads, MOH acknowledges Global Fund report. Center wants leges officials suspended. The Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia is urging President George Weah to immediately suspend leges officials involved in the financial malpractices pending the outcome of the LACC's report. And another story says Zianka and Johnson make history for Liberia. We brought that story on yesterday. And Cassell Law, okay, they won't say this. Cassell loses moral integrity, as former boss asserts. All right, we see the photograph of Moses D. Sandy, and he's in a handshake here with Dr. Daniel Cassell. So the back page of the Inquirer newspaper, Superintendent Follies dismisses tears debate among Kingsmen. A group under the banner, the United Grand Gideons for Sustainable Peace and Development, has come in defense of Superintendent Carl Foley. It is barely a week ago that some aggrieved residents of Grand Gita under the banner, Grand Gita County Senior Citizens Grievance Committee, Congress for Democratic Change, in two separate but 10-count petitions addressed to Internal Affairs Minister Bonnie Surley. And President George Weah highlighted Superintendent Carl Foley's deficits, thereby warranting his dismissal. And lastly, LMP arrests 2016 murder suspect. And Sam Aliyu Kemukai is right here on the back page. That's all. Let's run to Esther quickly for a few headlines, and then we usher in our guest.
Of course, this morning I'll start off with the Hot Pepper newspaper. This morning on the front page of it, it says Monrovia takes ship honored President George Weah, another beautiful project to be dedicated on Friday. This story is right here on the front page. Let's see just a few paragraphs. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf can be remembered for many achievements, but most importantly, for sustaining peace and stability after a devastating 14 years civil war, strengthening the tenets of democracy and peacefully turning over power to another democratically elected president, which last occurred in 1944. On the other hand, President George Weah is treading the path of implementing infrastructure projects that are giving a facelift to Monrovia, thus taking the shape of at least a 20th century capital city. Well, it's on the front page here. You can grab a copy of completion. It's on page 3 of this paper. Let's see another story. That says Army Wives Association gets over US 125,000 vocational complex. Wow, this is a great initiative. If we have much time, we have gone, in depth into the story, but we'll take some lines. The first lady of Liberia, Clara Maria, has made good the promise she made to the Army Wives Association by dedicating the turning over a vocational school worth over US 125,000. The construction of the school came as a result of a visit made by the First Lady in February 2020 following a request from the Army Wives Association. Well, at the back page of the Hot Pepper this morning, Sheikh Kunyata cautions President Weah orders against investment mishandling. Well, this story is at the back page. You can grab a copy to read. This one says INHCR threatens lawsuit against LMP Deputy Commissioner. We brought you the story on yesterday. Let's look at more stories at the back page. Emerson Sons, uh, preparator under pressure. As preparator under pressure to contest District 13 seat. At the back page, you can also grab a copy to read that story. Let's look up the Daily Observer newspaper. On the front page, EPS boss sorry for abuse meted against female officer, says the chairperson of the Independent National Commission on Human Rights. Well, this is at the front page of this paper. Let's look at more story. Dutch Bank pulls out of probe into alleged deforestation in land gap in Liberia. MOH rejects Global Fund's claims of systematic fraud. Well, let's see what the Ministry of Health says. Authorities of the Ministry of Health have rejected claims by the Global Fund watchdog that the ministry wasted and misused US 99 million yeah, meant to fight AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria in Liberia. President William R. October others remember on April 12 as families called government for decent effecting burial. And at the back page of the Daily Observer newspaper, Kakata Central praising gets rice supply as Jetty extends inmates feeding program outside of Montserrat County. Finally, for the back page of the Daily Observer, two Liberians earned PhD at Fora Day College in Freetown. And this is at the back page of this paper. You can grab a copy to read more of that. I think that's all we can take from our end. Let's send controls back to you, Wendell.
Thank you very much. While Esther is ushering in our guests, I'd just like to share with you what transpired on yesterday. You know, we still got good people in this country. On a serious note, there are more good people in this country than bad people. Yesterday, a lady boarded a taxi cab from somewhere in the Congo Town Belt to Broad Street, and in the process, why disembarking from the vehicle, she mistakenly dropped her phone, you know, in the taxi, and then the Zogos or the car loaders, as we call them, somebody was smart to see the phone while loading the car. The driver himself did not take note of it. So the later phone was taken away by this Zogo, and in the same area he was trying to sell the phone to somebody for $30. He was trying to sell the phone, and then somebody went and said, "Look, this phone is not for you." So I will call the owner of this phone to make sure that the owner come and get this phone. And the lady that took the phone from him is an officer at the Liberia Seaport Police National Port Authority. I just want to let Logan Davis, who is the head of LSP National Port Authority, I just want to let him know, and others at the LSP there, that there are some good securities at the LSP. The lady in question is Mami Siki Jr. All right, that's how they call her, Mami Siki Jr. Marine. All right, Marine Siki Jr. That's a popular name there at the Freeport. She works for the Liberia Seaport Police National Port Authority. So I was on the scene, when she called the lady, and the lady came, and then she asked the lady, "Is this your phone? Can you identify the phone?" And the picture that was on the screen, that was the lady picture.
Imagine.
Yeah, that.
After stealing, and then, well, he forgot to take the picture off the screen or what?
No, he was trying to sell the phone. Just for in that time, the Seaport police officer, who is Marion Siki Jr., she collected the phone from him and said, "The phone here, I will call the owner for the phone here." So luckily, the phone started to ring. And then that was the owner calling the phone. He said, "Oh, no, my phone, I just, dropped my phone in the taxi and blah, 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 blah." So the lady said, "Look, I'm somewhere around the 5th Street Bell. Just come and you will get your phone." And then she got on the motorbike, got to Fifth Street. I was there, and then she was quizzed one or two times, and the lady decided to give her her phone.
Okay.
She would have
You
taken
know,
that
yes,
phone.
without these kind of people, you see, they are difficult to find in the society. But
Exactly.
especially the kind of phones, maybe somebody might try calling you back for it, something like this,
Yeah.
button phone and stuff.
Yeah.
But if someone come across a touchscreen phone, a smartphone, girl,
Yeah.
it's
Seriously.
difficult to get it
You
back.
know?
So we still got good people around us.
Exactly. So we just want to say, keep up the good work, Marine Siki Junior of the Liberia Seaport Police. What you demonstrated yesterday is just something that we hardly see a lot of people, in this country to do.
Right,
To
good
find
citizen.
somebody's smartphone and just call them back and say, "Come and get your phone." Is very, very, difficult to see those kind of people around. So to tell you, Logan Davis, who is the head of LSP National Port Authority, you have a very good officer there. Make sure that officer is well protected, and she deserved to be, flowers, because what she demonstrated yesterday, it takes a few to do it. But anyway, congratulations to you, Myron Siki Junior of. I don't know what the woman doing with Chion. She said how they can call the people Chion. But anyway, it's good.
Maybe she's the junior of her father.
I know, right? But anyway, it's good to have our studio guest, pretty seated, looking smart and beautifully dressed this morning.
Yep.
All
And
right,
so,
so
she's we are playing host to Ambassador Yaya Suri. Yaya Suri Jalo. She is the, I think, executive director for Yaya Initiative. And of course, Liberia National Spelling Bee is what we're going to be talking about today. So she's in our studio, and it's good to have you. Good morning.
Good morning, and thanks to the Freedom FM family for having me here this morning to talk about the Labrador National Spelling Bee competition. I'm excited to be here.
Okay, so it's good to have you. Tell us, what is this initiative, this spelling bee stuff? Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, so let me start first with the I Initiative as
Okay.
the executive director, which is a non for profit organization aiming at elevating women, youth, children, ensuring they have equal rights to education, healthcare, social, and economic status in society. We started the I Initiative in 2017 2018 as when I became Miss EMEU, which I started right on the EMEU
there, and you need to help this young woman. I mean, she's so passionate about empowering young kids to promote
Yeah,
them.
and we don't want to hear her say our challenge is for national.
National, yeah,
That's
you
it.
know. But let's open up the lines and hear from those of you following 086 500 104 0776 104 104 0770297016. Those of you outside Liberia, you can call us on plus 231 86 500 104. All right, today we're not talking any political thing yet. All right,
No,
this is
no.
about education,
Yeah.
empowering our young people to learn how to spell. Some of you say your children going to school 4 or 5 years to spell one word at trouble. So that's it. Well, let's
Yeah.
talk to this first caller.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. Go ahead. We hearing you. Go ahead.
Yes. Esther calling from Boston.
Esther
Hello.
calling from Front Street.
Yes.
All right, Esther, please do us a favor. Just reduce the volume of your radio. You move away from there.
All right. It's okay.
Yes.
It's much better. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Okay. I want to say thank you to the best being a young lady and taking up this great initiative. And we say thank you. And I want her to share her number after the program.
Okay, I'm quite sure she will do. Thank you ever so much, Esther, for your contribution.
Thank you.
All right, let's take another caller. Caller, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hello. Caller, are you there? It's like we're having some issues. Hello. Your line is bad. Where are you? You care to move away from your current position? Oh, I think you have to call us back and make your point. We can better hear you. Your phone is kind of grounding. Just don't know what is responsible for that. But those of you watching us, you can also drop your comments there. We'll read them out for you. Let's talk to this person. Hello.
Yeah, this is Leroy calling from Clapton.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to the individual institute. That's a good initiative to educate the kids coming up that we are hoping on. So I would like to say I think she has to endow like mobile number that we can do some deposit. All of the video can help in the song. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution. I'm quite sure she's going to do that at the end of the show. So keep your calls coming in. Nobody asking you to, forcing you to say your give. When your heart is leading you to help in the process, because there are a lot of things she needs for that program. All right. It's all centered around money. Even the radio she on today, that money business she brought her here. And so it's a lot of things that she needs to help that program be a success. So those of you listening, whatever way you can contribute to this initiative, she's a young, brilliant woman coming up with so much passion about empowering our young people. So call us. Our numbers to participate are 0776 104 104 086 500 104. For the female callers, you can call us on 0770 297 016 are the numbers to call. Call us and you will be live on the program from the pre-news on Freedom FM 87.9, brought to you by Mayuba and Sons Incorporated. Let's talk to this person. Good afternoon. Okay, it seems we lost that caller. And, like I said, this is not a political show where people will call in and say, oh, the other president did, the other president, the government president steal money. They won't hear that. Just about empowering our Liberian children. So, like I said, whatever way you can contribute to this project, we'll go back to our studio guest. We'll open up or announce her mobile money number. All right? Her mobile money number. But I think we have
before
enough.
we go there, Let's take
Yeah.
the person.
I don't understand why people would be calling us with that kind of a feedback. Like we said, you want to call, you have to move away from your radio. All right. If you don't have anything to insert, don't just call and you leave the
Oh yeah,
lines.
because if you damage our ears, you wouldn't take us to hospital.
Yes. So it's important that you call in and make your contribution. Wherever you are, Ambassador Yaya Sori Jalo is here, and she's the current head of the Yaya initiative that will be launched on tomorrow at the Bella Casa Hotel there in Cinco. So she's here, and so let's Miss Jalo, let's have you gone to these stationaries to help? Have you written, because the prices that you give out, you know these institutions can also contribute. You write them or go to them, pay them regular visitation, asking them for help. Do you have people on the field doing that to solicit, you know, uh, whatever contribution from the folks out there?
Definitely, we have tried all that, right? Stationaries, stores, and everything. We have,
Do
but
you
just
do you get help from them? Initiative, spelling the Liberia National Spelling Bee. And want to say thank you ever so much for honoring our invite. We wish you all the best in your endeavor as you go about your official launch tomorrow. We pray that God grant you everything you want to happen on tomorrow. So, to all of you who sat and played the listening role, those of you who took up your time to call, want to say thank you ever so much. We appreciated you for being a part of today's presentation, and hopefully Esther and I will be here by His grace and mercy on the throwback edition of the program from the Pre News on tomorrow. My name is Wendell Nimne, and
I am Esther Daku. Have a great day.